Well, hello again and welcome to another wee session with Polly Brennan from Adventures Coaching. Lots of work going on right now for me with people who want to really thrive, who really want to have good health and well-being, want to have some practical strategies to cope when life gets tough. And so I'm going to share some of those with you today. So the first thing is about parking up unhelpful thoughts. Now, we all have unhelpful thoughts at times, and they can generate a lot of different challenges for us around confidence, around motivation and procrastination to get things done, around creating anxiety for us, and just generally hold us back in unhelpful ways. A technique that I learned from somebody who had taught himself to make an appointment with his worrisome thoughts. And what he did was he would tell himself or tell his thoughts that they could be booked in at 5 o'clock on a Monday for an appointment. And at that time, he'd give them his full attention. And until then, there was no space in his head and in his diary for those thoughts. There's lots of ways to park them up. Somebody talked about putting your worries and things that are unhelpful in a jar. Thanks for that one, Gillian. Other techniques that clients have talked about are about having a big bucket and putting all those things, unhelpful things in there. Sometimes people find it really helpful to write those things down and sort of ceremoniously maybe burn them or rip them up or do something to park up or to draw a line and step over that or compartmentalise those things that aren't helpful. The second thing I want to mention is just about our inner critic. Now, I was training to coach, we called that your gremlin, but I'm talking about your inner critic, that voice that's unhelpful. One of the coaching techniques that I learned when I was training to be a coach was about really tackling that gremlin, really understanding where that maybe might have arrived in your life, what events might have helped that kind of negative voice to be present. There's often things that have happened that have influenced that. And to really notice when it's present, when does it pop up? It's usually when you're about to do something really important, something that really matters to you. And you can really start to have a dialogue with that gremlin and invite that thought to be changed. Thirdly is good top tip for resilience is about productivity, because sometimes people feel less resilient when they get overwhelmed with demands and there's too much to do and they can't get on top of things. There's a few different things you can do there. One is about pacing yourself, obviously, and sometimes it's about saying no when there's too much to do. Sometimes it's also about really managing your expectations and deciding whether or not things have to be done to a particular standard. Sometimes we have to decide that good enough is good. It might be that your 60% is someone else's 100. So sometimes things have to just get done good enough, if you like. Another test that a coaching colleague taught me was called the measles test. And it was about procrastination. If there's a document that you've picked up and put down and picked up and put down and not done anything with, every time that happens, put a little red dot on it. And the documents that have most red dots, they are the ones you're procrastinating over, and they're the ones that you need to pick up and tackle. And actually ask yourself maybe why you're not doing it. Maybe actually it isn't high priority. Maybe it just doesn't need to get done, or doesn't need to get done now. Or maybe it's something that's really important that you just need to get on with and tackle that really difficult challenge first thing or right away and create that quick win. The rocket launch technique is a technique that, to my understanding, a client of mine discovered, and she realised that in between an idea and action, she had about a 5-second slot under which time she would either get into action or procrastinate and start to have a dialogue in her head and work out reasons why excuses really why she shouldn't do it. And she had a 5-second window. So her technique was about rocket launching herself into action within 5 seconds, out of her chair and into action, and just getting that thing done. I thought that's a fantastic technique, because getting things done and feeling on top of things and feeling in control is one of those things that really helps us feel healthy, mentally healthy and resilient and well. Like to suggest is it's very simple. I love the outdoors. I don't know what environments you like. I don't know what activities you like. But something about finding things to do and places that soothe your soul. Now, that could be about a beach walk. It could be about getting out with your dog. It could be about a hot bath. It could be about visiting funky places. It doesn't matter. Really, it's just about making sure if you want to be resilient and you want to thrive in life, you need to be doing the activities that help you thrive, the things you love, So it's pure and simple, but we want those to be part of your life as much as possible. A personal favourite of mine, mindfulness for mugs. It might be that you're out having a walk in the woods and you just really listen to the sounds, that you really notice the sights, the colours, and that you really take in the smells. And that in itself is a mindfulness approach. So it's just doing something really, being really engaged in that thing and giving it your full attention. When you get so engrossed in an activity that you lose track of everything, it's called occupational flow, and it is psychologically the most healthy place you can be in your head at any given time. Okay, I'm going to mention the stop technique. This is a technique that I have discovered can be really, really helpful for people who tend to overthink and worry and get into a really worrisome place in their head. It's really simple. It's about simply saying stop in the moment and having a conversation, checking what's happening up here. When things become upsetting or if your emotions become heightened and things are getting out of hand. So you do the following. First of all, you take a deep breath. And then you stop and you observe, what am I thinking? What am I reacting to here? And what reactions am I creating in my body? What am I feeling as a result? And then what you do is you pull back and you get some perspective and you think, what's the bigger picture? Is what I'm thinking a factor in opinion? And how might someone else see this? Perhaps someone else might see this differently. And then the question, what is the best thing for me to do right now? What is the outcome I really want to create? And how do I need to think and how do I need to behave to make this possible? Sometimes mindful breathing can be a really helpful way for people to calm themselves and to feel more resilient in the moment. So there's one technique in particular, a simple exercise that you can use to center yourself is a helpful thing, especially when you're getting caught up in your thoughts and feelings in an unhelpful way. So it's about taking 10 deep breaths. It's about focusing on the breathing, focusing on really emptying your lungs and allowing them to refill quite naturally, and noticing sensations as they empty and refill, noticing the cool air, noticing your rib cage, allowing thoughts to come and to go and realising that they can't harm you, just like passing cars really. And just start to expand your awareness of your breathing and your body and how you're feeling. And then looking around you and noticing what you can see, what you can hear, what you can feel around you. Becoming clear about what you can and cannot change. This is about control, working out what you are and aren't in control of. And becoming clear on what you can and can't change is really important, because if you can change something, then do so. If you can't, then you have to accept that, and accepting that maybe that's a concern for you, but not something you can change. So they're the things you need to park up. But parking up's for the things you can't control, but we don't want to be passive about the things you can control. So first question really is, in any given situation, can I change this situation? And secondly, in what way can I change this situation? Can I change something about what's happening? Can I become informed and involved and influence this change? Perhaps that's not possible, but changing how you think or how you feel in that situation. And worst case scenario, if you can't change it and you can't influence it and you can't park it up and you can't change how you think and feel, you can often remove yourself from that situation. So there's lots of different ways around it. But it's really about being in control as best you possibly can. And we all like to be in control, of course. Next one is creating a RAP, resilience action planning. It's about creating a plan that helps you become clear on what tops you up, what to notice when you're not doing so well, creating a team of people that can help you, and utilising all those things to really keep you at your best. But actually the plan also helps people think about what they need to do if they're not so well anymore and they need some help. And we all have potential for that too. But we should all have a RAP plan, in my opinion, and you can have one too. Again, you can come to me if you want help with one. I have one, and I'm regularly working on it and reviewing it, because stuff's not easy. This is an art form. This is about lifelong learning. It's a bit like working our muscles. We have to work these muscles, and these techniques and tools take time to learn. If you want coached on this, contact me. If you want to talk to me about this, contact me. Polly@adventurescoaching.com if you want to email me. www.adventurescoaching.com if you want to check me out on my website. Thank you for listening. It's been brilliant. Polly Brennan. Bye now.